Hi, my name is Daniel Nguyen. I'm the CEO and co-founder of WriterZen. Welcome to our recommended workflows video series. And I hope that through this video series, we'll be able to kind of share with you some of very unique features that we have and which I believe that could help you tremendously in your own SEO workflows. And second thing is, I want to share with you a little bit of our observations in the past 10 years of doing SEOs that lead us to building a tool like WriterZen. And also a kind of principle that kind of guided all along the way that help us to build some of the most successful SEO campaign to our clients. And it's also the kind of principle that guide us to create the product of WriterZen as it is today. So a few things I want to share with you, since obviously I'm sharing this to a group of people who has advanced knowledge in SEO, and being an advanced person doing SEO, I'm sure you've already experienced quite a bit of the fact that how every year the changes happening, and you already have at least about 4 to 5 years of doing SEO on your own, and you've tackled several types of content and of SEO campaigns, as well as you have seen the ups and downs of doing SEO, the unpredictability and the uncertainty of how Google updates has been throughout the year. But I'm sure we all could agree there's a few changes in which has progressively kind of altered the future of SEO altogether. And the first thing is how backlinks are slowly become more and more obsolete. I mean, I still remember back before 2012, right? Everything on Google and the search engines and SEO is all around the building of your link building, right? You want to create and build as many backlinks as possible into your content, and disregard of how your content may look like, your website still are able to rank. But progressively after the Hummingbird update, you will be able to see this change, incremental change of how intelligent Google AI has become. And the intelligence of Google AIs reflects more strictly in the fact that how they are able to sort of slowly understand the context and meaning of the content in which the website provide. And they are able to, from that point of view, match that with the correct search intent of the users. And that is where you start seeing this concept called knowledge graph from users with different entities. And Google are able to kind of show you feature snippets. They are able to kind of right away answer the questions in a very quick form right on Google. And they are able to understand very clearly the intent in which when you search a certain keyword. And slowly, this will be the future of search engines. They will be able to determine your content and the meaning in which you try to write, and the value of the quality and the value of your content to your users. And with that, they no longer need links in order to determine whether or not your content are going to be the content fit well and best with the intent of the users. And this is where I believe is going to be the future of SEO. In future of SEO, I think is probably in the 3 to 5 years time frame, link building will become obsolete, and the only thing that regain matter most is all of the basic and most basic fundamental when it comes to SEO. You have to be able to structure your site in a way that your content is really well presented, that show that you are the expert and authority of the field you try to target. Second, your content, of each of the content that you publish, has to be so well crafted that it gives the users the value and the insight that they need so that they will stay engaged on your website. And third, everything you build surrounding whatever you try to target has to be user-centric, because that's, at the end of the day, is what propelled Google as a search engine. That's how they make money. That's how they will propel going forward. And as AI get more and more intelligent, they will be able to know right away what you are writing about, who you are targeting, and whether or not the kind of content you write are valuable for them. those are the three things and three biggest changes, and that I have and we as a team in WriterZen have observed over the year, and that's exactly the reason why we built WriterZen. We want to build WriterZen in a way that would focus on helping you as our user to build the most comprehensive and effective topic cluster that scream, I am an expert in Google standard. And Google, when Google bots go in, they will just right away see that the structure you built are the structure in which any expert in the field would have built when they want to share the knowledge. Secondly, we want to optimize. We want to only choose those data that matter to your SEO campaign. And those are not all data, right? And if you use a lot of tools out there nowadays, they will show you this tons of different kind of data set and whatnot, backlinks and DA and PA, DRPA. A lot of this data they'll present it to you, but a lot of those I don't think really matter, because at the end of the day, Google will be able to right away identify what is valuable to the users through the content in which you write. Right, so that's the second thing. Focus on only data that matters. And thirdly, we want to be able to develop and provide a workflow approach, because you, more than any other users of our platform, would know more than anyone that SEO is a very disciplined practice. It requires a sequential steps to follow. You can't just simply do one thing right and expect amazing result. You can't just simply write a great content, publish it, and expect that it's going to rank. No. SEO, especially in 2022, will require you to follow even stricter and more strategic approach to SEO, and that means you have to start with building a really strong topic cluster. You have to be able to identify the keyword list that have different that fit with the user search intent under each of the topic and the subtopic. You also have to be able to cluster them into a different article list that fit with your marketing funnel so that you can convert. And then you have to be able to understand the entities that you need to include in each of those articles when you craft them, so that you have a higher chance to rank. Because Google bot get so smart these days, right? They will be able to, they go in, they will not only see your structure, but they also see what entities should you include in your content, so that they could link as a knowledge graph. So those are the three things when it comes to building WriterZen, and through our observation, we put forth in our philosophy of building of crafting WriterZen. So that's the first. That's the background, and that's what we want to achieve throughout this whole thing, is to introduce with you the workflows that has helped us building amazing SEO campaign for our users, and some of the unique features along the way. And that will be said in this 5-step series of videos. In the first videos, you will be able to see how you can form your topic cluster that achieve topical authority using just our topic discovery tool. By just one click, we'll be able to provide with you all the topic and the subtopic that needed, and also the headlines that you could include in the topic that you choose, as well as related searches and the Google suggest, autocomplete suggest, to really form a very strong topic cluster that scream in Google's board that I am the expert. Second thing is in the second step, you will be able to utilize our golden filter. That is where we utilize the all entitled data to create this two-dimensional sort of mapping for you to easily identify keyword that have high volume search, which is high probability to compete, yet very low in competition with other websites. With that list of keyword, and you are able to kind of categorize those into different search intent category, you will then move to step 3. That's when you will be able to utilize our keyword cluster toolset to cluster keyword into different group of article list without your manual. Imagine doing this manually. It will take you days, right? And we all know how painful it is to work on a clustering process. And that's step 3. In step 4, we will help you and guide you into utilizing our content creator tool to research and develop a great outlines for your article that give you the highest probability to rank and to compete with your competitor. And in step 5, I will share with you some of the tips and tricks and also experience in which have followed us during the 10 years of doing our of our work as SEO content agencies that have helped us in building some of the most successful SEO content to our clients. And with that in mind, let me share with you just one last bit. It's the principle that guides us through everything that we built in this tool. And that is what we call supply and demand relationship in Google economy. And this is probably something that a lot of you already know. But I want to remind those who don't, and also remind even those who have been doing it for some time, but you have forgot about how everything works. Because whatever it is, it has a root cause. And the root of all how SEO works is actually the supply. It's surprisingly simple. It's a supply and demand relationship. And in Google economy, you have 3 players. You have Google Play as a platform, and the existence of Google, and also the how Google propelled and make money is and continue to be the trusted source of search engine is because of their ability to match the demand of the users to the right suppliers. And they match it so effectively, so efficiently, and so quickly that they will continue to be the trusted source. So first player is Google, that's the platform. On the demand side, that's the users. And the users will voice their demand through the keyword that they search. And also how high or low this demand is presented by the search volume. You or us, we all are the supplier end. We are the websites who owns that knowledge, that products, that information, or that service that we want to provide to the user who search the keyword that they have. And our job isn't to right away and constantly satisfy the need of the demand, but our job first is actually to satisfy the platform. We have to satisfy Google because that's where we operate. We have to understand their guidelines. What do their requirements? What are their do and the don't? How good is their bot now? What is their development? So that's why you have to spend so much time understanding each of the updates of Google. What is EAT? What is that guiding principle, right? And only when you get that part right, satisfied Google and everything that is required, you know exactly what it takes to develop a topic cluster that Google will see you as an expert, and then only then you will start building. The next step is to satisfy your customer. That's when you start doing your keyword research. That's when you want to know what are the demands that your users need and look for. And so I just want to remind very quickly of yourself of that principle that we need to follow. So everything we do will propel from the fact that first we got to satisfy Google. We've got to follow all of their guidelines and making sure that everything that they require, we will meet them. And then and only then, we go around and satisfy the customer. So with that in mind, I welcome you to these recommended workflows, and I hope that after these workflows, you'll be able to see some unique features and the way we structure the workflows that will add values to your own work and that you could utilize our tool for all of your work in future. With that, welcome you to our recommended video series.